Why is it hard to break up with someone?
You get emotionally attached.
You don't really want to hurt anyone's feelings or anything.
Well, it's always hard because you don't want to make the other person feel uncomfortable, and you don't want to cause them any hurt.
You don't know how they're going to take it because you don't want to hurt their feelings because you can still care about them. You just might not like them in the same way.
It might hurt them because no one wants to hurt other people.
Why do you think people stay in abusive relationships?
In abusive relationships, it's almost like an addictive behavior. It's like they get used to it and they think that's the other person makes them think that it's all they can get.
Being scared that they're gonna like hurt you really badly or something.
Because they're afraid of what might happen if they like break up with them.
They don't know what the other person's gonna do. They probably fear them.
Because they think that it might change and they still care about the person.
I think they're scared about what could happen after.
Because they've known the person for a long time and they don't want to break up with them.
Because they're afraid that someone will hurt them even more than they already do.
People were either brought up that way, and that's probably why they stay like that, because they probably don't know any better.
Because they love them or like they have kids with them.
Maybe they don't get attention from their family or friends.
Many abusers have a likable and loving side, and many victims think they can change their partner's abusive behavior. It's not always easy to admit that the relationship you are in is abusive.
Teens may fear that if they break up with someone, rumors will be told about them, people won't believe they were abused, or they will be blamed for the abuse.
It's not easy to break up with someone, no matter what the situation is, so we decided to ask a group of teens how they would handle it.
The pressure to be in a relationship may be so great that even with any partner, and an abusive one, it is better than being alone. Breaking up is hard to do. Social suicide is the concern that if you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, it will be the end of your social life and you'll be left out of the crowd. Keeping that information in mind, I have some questions for you guys. Why is acceptance and approval by others so important when deciding to break up with someone?
Your reputation and just your friends play a really big role, and since you hang out with them most of the time, it's like you're afraid what they're going to think or if they're going to accept you the same.
They wanted to stay popular or something if they was in the same group, and maybe because they thought if they broke up with that person, their world would end.
If you guys are dating someone from the school, you think it might be hard to break up with them because you're faced with seeing them and their friends every day at school?
I don't know, I find myself in that situation right now. I see my ex around school all the time, and it's hard because you know that you're trying to move forward with your life and you're hoping that something positive is going to come out of this, and when you see it's not really having that effect that you would like, it's becoming really hard to just, you know, see them or just communicate with them and just trying to be friends.
It is kind of an awkward feeling that if you break up with the same person and then see them every day, it's kind of hard to really, you know, be friends with a person because, you know, the stuff that you've been through with that person, it's just a feeling that you don't want to have.
What if you were physically afraid of seeing that person in school, like you felt that you were in some kind of danger?
The worst thing a person could do is to not tell anybody about it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to tell the whole world that they're afraid of seeing this person because they're afraid of harm might be inflicted onto them. But I think talking to an administrator or, you know, just making your closest friends aware of that.
I think that you should just, you know, have a friend that you can always talk to and walk around school with, be with, you know, never be alone.
Teen dating violence often is hidden because teenagers experience a serious relationship for the first time. How do we figure out for ourselves what is healthy, unhealthy, or abusive in a dating relationship?
Many teens get confused about kissing and consent. A boy may believe that if he kisses you, he can go further. Many girls may think this is normal for a dating relationship.
The reality is, 1 in 3 teenagers have experienced physical or sexual abuse by a dating partner. In our next segment, we talk with a teen who had very hurtful experience with a boy she thought would protect her.
Katie is a typical teenager. Like most freshmen, her first year of high school was both exciting and scary. When an older boy showed interest in her, she was happy to find someone who would protect and care for her. Unfortunately, the relationship was not what she expected. You won't see Katie's face because she wanted to protect her identity. And in reality, this could be any teenage girl. Describe your relationship with your boyfriend. How did it begin?
At first we started off as friends, and then we became really close. He was kind of good looking. Okay. I mean, now I don't think that, but then I did. And he was older, and a lot of other people were attracted to him. And in the beginning it was really happy because it was probably one of my first serious relationships, and he promised me everything and it would be so great, and I would just went along with it. And so at first, yeah, I was happy.
When did you first notice that there was something wrong?
I think it began when he started telling me things about some of my closest friends, that things like that they had been lying to me or going behind my back and doing things, and he eventually started telling me how I should dress and what kind of things I should wear and how I should talk and who I could talk to and to be a certain way. But then I just told myself, well, he loves me, and if this is what he wants, then it's all right.
How was he emotionally abusive to you?
You would do this for me if you love me. I felt totally like a puppet of his. Like, I would say what he wanted me to say, and I would talk to who he wanted me to talk to, and he had total control over me. And that's not the kind of person I am, but with him, that was okay in my mind.
Are you going out with someone who checks up on you constantly, puts you down, makes you worry about reactions to things you say or do, loses their temper quickly and brags about mistreating others, hits something to show the ability and power to hurt you? If you experience anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, scared, or intimidated, you may be in a relationship that is physically or emotionally abusive. Did he ever tell you it was your fault?
Not that I can remember, but I know if any little thing like went wrong, he would become really angry. And I had seen how he would be angry at his friends or his parents, and that was scary. And so I didn't want to make him angry just because I had seen like how he was to other people.
Did you love your boyfriend even though he treated you this way?
Yes, I told myself that that was just one of the things that had to happen, like that all of the different things, like telling me like how to dress and what to say and whatever, was just one like part of a relationship, that's what was happening with everyone. It wasn't just me.
Was your boyfriend physically violent?
Yes.
Katie was raped by her boyfriend. She was at his house on a typical date. The kissing was consensual, but then he went too far. Katie said no multiple times, but it didn't matter. He told her everything was going to be fine. He made her believe that this was how it was supposed to be.
That wasn't right. That wasn't how it was supposed to be.
Why did you stay with him?
Well, I told him after like he had told me all the things about my friends, he was the only person I had in my life at that point in time, and all the friends I had were through him. And so if I had like cut myself off from him, then I would be all alone, and no one wants to be alone, you know.
How were you able to get out of the relationship?
I had realized that there was a side to him that I saw through everything, but it wasn't until the lies started coming to the surface that I realized that it wasn't good.
If you had a friend in an unhealthy relationship, how would you help them?
If you see a friend who needs help, you should help them, even if they're pushing you away and everything, because you'll help. Even if it seems like they hate you and everything, you could really help them and change their life almost. And I realize now that if I had listened to my friends and hadn't gotten mad at them, a lot of things would be different. Now that I look back, I realize that they were only trying to help me.
How has your family and friends helped you through this traumatic experience?
After I told my mom about all the lies and all the things that had happened, she was really supportive of me, and of course, and she was on my side, and that was helpful, and just the support that family and friends who, after something bad happens, don't like throw you away. To have someone who's there still, even after it seems to you as if your whole world had fallen apart.
What have you learned from this experience?
Well, definitely I think a lot more before I do things and involve myself in things. And just the realization that people, even though you think that they love you and you think that they're just looking out for you, that it's not always true. And you have to be aware. You can't just keep telling yourself that everything's okay if something inside of you is telling you it's not.
With the support of her family and friends, Katie found the courage to report the rape to the police. At this time, the district attorney is reviewing the incident, and the case is still pending. If you or a friend ever experiences any type of violence with a dating partner, don't be afraid to report it to the police. It's your right to stand up against abuse.
Thank you for joining us. We hope this show gave you something to think about. Please know there's always someone you can talk to.
There are a lot of teens who put this show together. As the credits roll, you will hear from some of them about what they learned while creating this show.
See you next time on Teens in Action.
Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, totally, for sure.
Possible ways to identify a victim are: they always worry about making their boyfriend or girlfriend angry, might give up things that are important to them, they are likely to cancel plans for reasons that don't sound true, often show signs of physical abuse like bruises or cuts, and could get pressured into having sex.
Possible signs of an abuser are: they often blow disagreements out of proportion, use insults to break down their partner's self-esteem, checks in on the other constantly, continually blames others for their own problems, and can abuse drugs or alcohol.
If you suspect someone you know is being abused, you can help by listening to what they are saying.
Don't make judgments. Tell them they don't deserve to be hurt.
Don't give advice. Just be supportive and talk to them about the choices they have.
If you are in an abusive relationship, remember, you are not alone. It is not your fault. No one ever deserves to be abused. Help is always available.
How does someone get out of an abusive relationship? Don't rely on yourself to get out of a situation. You're not alone. The people who love and care about you can help you break away. It's important to know that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It actually shows that you have a lot of courage and are willing to stand up for yourself.
Dating safety tips. Consider double dating the first few times you go out with a new person. Make sure a parent or friend knows what your plans are and what time to expect you home. Be aware that drugs and alcohol will decrease your ability to react to uncomfortable situations. Assert yourself when necessary. Be firm and straightforward in your relationships. Trust your instincts. If a situation makes you uncomfortable, try to be calm and think of a way to remove yourself from the situation.
Dating someone comes with both rights and responsibilities. Your dating rights are to be treated with respect, to choose and keep your own friends, to change your mind at any time, to not be abused physically, emotionally, or sexually, to leave a relationship, to disagree, and to live without fear. Your dating responsibilities are to support your boyfriend or girlfriend emotionally, to communicate, not manipulate, to allow your boyfriend or girlfriend to maintain their individuality, to not humiliate or demean your girlfriend or boyfriend, to not threaten to harm yourself or someone else, to refuse to abuse anyone physically, emotionally, or sexually.
Consent is when you freely give permission through your words or actions for something to happen.
There is no need to explain or apologize for saying no.
It's your right to say no.